Tim Tszyu warns Jermell Charlo that this is his Zab Judah moment. Let's connect these dots.
Push the weight in no flex alive is one in the six. Fit the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, game walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. So I'm scrolling through Boxing Scene. I come across this article. Link will be in the description. Tim Tszyu says that he warns Jermell Charlo that this will be his Zab Judah moment. No, absolutely not. For those of you that don't know, that don't go back that far, you know, some of you are young. Years ago, and you could YouTube it, his father, Tszyu, legendary boxer, and you know I like Tszyu. I liked him when he was active. He had a historic night. We all know Zab Judah, Zab Super Judah, another fighter that I've supported throughout the years. Good dude. He faced off against this fella's father, Tszyu. Right, and Zab was picked to, let's just say he was picked to beat Tszyu. First round, Zab comes out and, you know, making Tszyu miss, using angles. He was styling on him. And I believe it was the second round. Tszyu landed one. Zab falls. He tries to get up too fast. His equilibrium was off. Jay Nady was a referee. He tried to get up and tell him he was okay, and he wobbled and fell again. Then he jumped up again, and Nady, you know, he just waved the fight off because Zab didn't look well. It was shocking because Tszyu was an extreme underdog, if I remember correctly. And incidentally, that was supposed to be Zab's coming out party. Everyone knew who he was. He represented Brooklyn. He had a billboard. As soon as you come over the Brooklyn Bridge into Brooklyn and you made that left turn, there's a big old billboard of Zab Judah there, flexing. And that was supposed to be his coming out party because Tszyu was well respected. And it was deemed as a hard fight, but everyone picked Zab to win it, and he made a mistake. He got caught going backwards. He fell. He got up. He tried to tell Jay Nady he was all right, and then he wobbled and fell. And you know, people, it looked strange. It looked cartoonish, and you know, people clowned him. And the ending was the highlight because a riot broke out. He was upset. He was throwing chairs, and you know, it was Mike Tyson was there in the locker room supporting him, and you know, Yoel just had to calm his son down, and it was a learning moment for Zab, but that was supposed to be his coming out party, if I remember correctly, and Tszyu won it, and Tszyu went on. I think he had an HBO deal or something. He got a deal. I believe it was with, I want to say, was it HBO show? I forget. It might have been Showtime. I think it was Showtime. He got a deal, multi-fight deal, and and he was soft-spoken, power puncher, and he was winning. His father's claim to fame was stopping, putting the exclamation point on Julio Cesar Chavez's career. He beat the hell out of him. And he went on to do pretty good things. But Tim, this ain't it. This is not it. I get why you're saying it, there's a bit of marketing behind what you're saying, making a comparison, but you're not your dad. You're not. You look like him. Damn, I'm looking at this picture. You really look like your dad. If you didn't have his last name and I just saw you walking down the street, I would say, man, that young man looked like Costa Tszyu. He looks just like Costa Tszyu. So yeah, Costa is the father. You look just like your dad. I'll give you that. But talent-wise, I don't see it. Now you carry his last name and you do have some talent. You're a professional. You do have some talent. I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? You do have a bit of punching power. I'll give you that. But you're not your father in this instance. Now, you're next up, the sanctioning bodies, they didn't even let the damn belts get warm around Jermell's waist yet. They already got him in the ring with 3 different people. You, Bakram, the Russian, am I saying his name right? And Fundora. Okay, fine. They like to do that to certain fighters and not to others, but whatever. You're not your father in this case. That's a bad comparison. In fact, you're not a good enough boxer to deal with Jermell Charlo. I saw you in your last fight. Kudos to you for coming to the States to show your skill, but I wasn't impressed. I wasn't. So you beat a couple of guys in Australia. Australia loves you, and I get it. But your Zab Judah moment, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Okay. This will be your J-Rock moment. This will be your Erickson Lubin moment. This might be, if it goes into deep water, your dad versus Ricky Hatton moment. Go watch that fight. But Jermell's skill set isn't on a level of a Ricky Hatton. It's light years above. Tim, Jermell stops you early. Early. So if by way of the rankings you are deserving of this title shot, cool, man. Listen. Jermell has options. Personally, I don't like the fact that the belts ain't even warm around his waist. And they got him in the ring with several different people. Yeah, get to work. The industry didn't do that to Canelo Alvarez. They want him to walk around with it and write articles singing his praises and avoid his contemporaries. Jermell runs it back with Castano, gets the job done, sleeps him. And before the broadcast was over, they were throwing names around. You understand? They wouldn't have did that to Castano. I promise you they wouldn't have did that. What's good for some isn't good for others. Tim, this is not your Zab Judah moment. So you don't have to warn Jermell of anything. I would say Jermell's not taking you serious, but I've never seen either of the Charlos not take a fight serious. They treat everybody the same way. Angry. Zab got in there, and I will admit, based off what I've seen, Zab went in there and was playing with your father. He was trying to play up to from what I've seen, he was putting in work. But he won the first round so easy. In fact, he rocked your dad in the first round. So it looked like it was going to be one of those things where it could have went 12 rounds and your father would have been batted or he'd have stopped him. But he went in there and was playing and he got caught. In this life, that happens. But interesting, he never ran it back. Your father took the business route. Now talk to your father about that. Did you ever ask your father why he never ran it back with Zab Judah? Did you ever ask him? He didn't need to, right? According to the audience, according to the business, and he was never forced to. Because for some reason, your dad was better for business. Zab was on record on Friday Night Fight saying, yo, after he beat Corey Spinks, salute to Corey Spinks. Who Zab lost to, but had in a rematch, he knocked him out. But they had him in the studio. He says, y'all run through Zab now. And they sort of laughed at him. I said, yo, man, run it back. He has a title now. Run it back. There was no popular demand for Zab to run it back. I mean, for your father, Kostya Tszyu, to run it back. There was no popular demand. He did it. Don't go backwards. You know why they didn't do it? Because I believe Zab would have got him in a rematch. I think he'd have got him. But I mentioned that to prove the point. Certain fighters are held to a different standard. There was no public outcry for a rematch between Zab and your father, Tim. He said, I got these belts. I got a deal. I want to say it was Showtime. Now that I think about it. I got a deal from Showtime. I don't need to fight Zab again. And he ain't go backwards. So that's good business. And people justified that. But Zab wanted that rematch. He did. But by way of the business, by way of fan support, they were good not seeing it. So I find it very interesting you saying that this is your Zab Judah moment. Young man, you need to do your homework. Because you get in this ring with Jermell Charlo. Yeah, vice versa. It will be a Zab Judah moment, but you'll be, quote unquote, Judah in that ring. And this is no disrespect to Team Judah. I've supported them for decades, literally decades. And I will say I was mad as hell that night. There was nothing funny how that fight ended. There was nothing funny about that. I've been mad at, I've been angry at the monkeys for years. People coming to work laughing about it. I'm like, yo, what's funny, man? What's funny? Ain't nothing funny about that. Ask your father why he didn't run it back with Zab. And I have to research it, but I think Zab put himself back in the position. He had got a hold of a belt. Your dad ain't run it back, dude. So I know what you're trying to say to market this thing, but this ain't it. Jermell will thunderclap you, dude. So go on and jump in that traffic if you want to. It's a cute little saying, but I don't believe you, dude. But go ahead and do it. Now I'm hearing some things from behind the scene. I heard some things about Jermell. He might vacate and just go up to 160. Whatever he decides to do, I'm cool with it. How about that? If y'all want to say, oh, he's ducking Tim Tszyu, fine, whatever. Say whatever. He's ducking Fundora. He's ducking Bakram. Fine. Look, he was undisputed. That's all I wanted. He ran it back with Castano and knocked him out. And he's going, guess what? It's not a duck if he's going at a heavier weight. How about that, y'all? So whatever Jermell decides to do, whether it's to knock Tim Tszyu's head off or go up to 160, I'm cool with it. But Tim, this is not your moment. If he decides to fight you, you're gonna get stretched badly. This ain't your Kostya Tszyu versus Zab Judah moment. This is your J-Rock moment. This is your Erickson Lubin moment. And no disrespect to those men. But you are right along those lines, dude. You're not that good. You're okay, but you're not that good. Now, if you want to collect on what you feel you're owed or what the ranking system says you are owed, fine. But you ain't gonna win. My opinion. But salute to you for talking. Let's see what happens next. Bronx on deck.
Move!